Let me show you how to build this AI-inspired landing page with mouse effects. Let's break it down. First, I'll set our section to fit to screen and change the background color to black. Then I'll drop in an image, swap it out for something a little more interesting, and resize and center it. Then I'll simply drop in some text, change the color, add a heading, and then change the font and size. Duplicate that, and I'll change the font and size once again for a bit of description text. And then finally, stack them together. Now, to build out the text box, let's first add an element and in input, select text box like this. I'll remove the title and change the placeholder text to match our image a little better. Then I'll round the corners and remove the background and border completely. I'll resize and then center the image. Next, let's grab a button, changing the color and the corners. Then I'll swap the icon and change the text before adjusting the font and size as well. Finally, let's set this button to hug. I'll go ahead and duplicate the button, removing the background entirely, swapping the icon for a paperclip, and then changing the text. With that, let's select the input and both buttons and select place in container. With this container, we can then round out the corners too and set the background to white before turning on the glass effect and setting the blur intensity to about 37 pixels. Lastly, let's reposition these buttons slightly and make sure the placeholder text is bright enough. That rounds out the AI input, and most importantly, you can actually type within the box, and you could wire this up to a sign-up lightbox or whatever else you'd like. So now let's go ahead and finish building this section. I'll go ahead and start by dropping in another image, resizing and positioning it to the left behind the centered image. I'll do the same thing on the right side and continue with 2 more images on either side, with each getting smaller and always behind the last. Now let's go ahead and animate this thing. To our center container, I'll add in a mouse effect, which will be track, following the mouse a distance of 25 pixels, pointer velocity of 0.7, and just on the horizontal axis. For the images directly to the left and right, we'll have exactly the same animation, but a distance of 55 pixels. Then the image to the left and the right of those will have 80 pixels distance, and finally 125 pixels. That staggering is critical because it creates this cascade effect as we move our mouse around. So now let's go ahead and make it tablet and mobile responsive as well. Going ahead and switching over to tablet, I'll stretch our input to match the container and then recenter it. Then selecting all of the images, I'll drag them down to overlap with that input container. Finally, let's bump up the heading and subtext and then reposition as needed. Finally, go ahead and switching over to mobile, I'll resize the container and input box within it and then reposition those buttons too. Then grabbing all of our images once again, I'll expand them to fill the space a little bit more, with some even going off the screen, and that's okay. Then go ahead and drag them down to once again intersect with the input box. And then we'll also resize and reposition the heading and subtext as needed. And with that, you should have everything you need to create this AI input landing page with mouse effects. Want to see more videos just like this? Check out another tutorial.